Let's get the facts straight.
No.
The following is Officer Havliceck's body-worn camera footage from when she responded to the Bay County Vet Center on March 7th, 2023. Be sure to pay close attention to how she treats the women and what her sergeant says when he huffs onto the scene. You definitely don't want to miss the fantastical accounts that September. Sims, Aislynn Thatcher, and Carol Gibbons weave back in their office.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I've been better. This woman came up. My husband is a blind veteran.
Okay.
He's in the lobby. He has VA-issued technology on him that the VA has given him.
Okay.
A woman came from across the parking lot and just took it out of his hand.
Okay, give me 1 second.
She just took it out of his hand.
She removed it from his hand? Okay.
And she can't take it from him. I mean, it's assistive technology.
All right, just stay right here for me.
Mrs. Justice here. What I just said is not true. September did not take the phone out of Mike's hand. At the time, I was trying to figure out what was going on. I stayed in the van because I had other things I was working on. Mike was told on the phone that someone in the vet center would be able to help him with the paperwork when he arrived. So, foolishly, I let my guard down a bit. Many of you who've followed the channel have some idea of the awful abuse Mike has suffered at the hands of those who are supposedly there to serve the public. Knowing this, when that woman came out the door with Mike's eyes, I immediately thought something awful must have happened for it to be in her hand and not in his. He has been beaten and had his device ripped out of his hand before, and now has wrist damage from being kept handcuffed behind his back while unconscious for hours. While realistically I do not believe that September has the physical ability to pry Mike's device out of his hand, I was afraid that the police would not hear Mike's side of the story before jumping to defend the damsel in distress. So I tried to tell Havliceck a brief snippet of what I had pieced together before September took over. I was right about that part. Notice that Havliceck doesn't get Mike's side of the story, but instead goes back into the back room to gossip with the self-identified thief. So I stand corrected that though the phone was stolen from Mike, it was not taken directly from his hand.
I got another officer coming.
Right?
Hello.
Hi. I'm Officer Havliceck with Lynn Haven Police.
Okay. This lady just stole my equipment, and I would like it returned.
Okay, okay, so this is your equipment, the phone on your stand?
I got a phone and a stand right here.
Okay.
She took it from me, and she's been refusing to return it to me.
Okay. There's that right there for you. Got it?
All right. I would like to place charges for
who took
larceny.
Who took it?
September.
Right. Who are you?
I am the vet counselor.
Okay.
I'm the director right now.
Okay, so what's the reason that you took his stuff? Okay. I'm going to walk back here with her and talk to her. I'll be right back with you, okay?
She didn't just get to steal my stuff and then not give it back to me.
I've got another officer coming. He'll come talk to you, okay?
He's recording right now for YouTube. So.
He's got a YouTube channel. He called her earlier pretending to be a veteran who needs an interpreter for blind services.
Okay.
And the VA has a court case with them right now. So I saw him come in with the camera and look how did you know I took his phone if you can't see.
Okay. Okay.
So I didn't know what to do except call you.
Gotcha. Okay, let me get everybody involved's information, because we'll do a report on it. What's your first name?
September.
Middle initial?
A. Sims, S-I-M-S.
And your birthday?
September 22nd, 1965.
Is that coincidental, or did I name you September because you were born in September? Gotcha. Okay. Write your home address down for me.
Okay.
Were you all involved as well?
Yeah, I was the one who answered his phone call.
Okay. You're okay. I'll just have you
I
guys
work in the front desk.
write down all of your information, all the information she just put down there. Why don't you put your phone number down there as well?
Okay.
Okay. Same for you guys. I'm gonna step out and call my sergeant, let him know what's going on, and let the other officer know what I've got so far. Okay. I'll be right back with you. Okay.
Yeah. Are you said you were Lynn Haven?
Yes.
Do you guys have a written agreement with the federal government to have jurisdiction on this property?
I don't have that information, but we can get it for you. Right now, I'm gonna step outside and call my sergeant, let him know what's going on, and we'll get you updated. So you want to know if we have a written agreement for jurisdiction over this register? Okay.
Yeah, your department has to have a written agreement with the Veterans Affairs.
Okay.
Because even though this is like in Lynn Haven, it's leased by the federal government. So this, in order to have jurisdiction for law enforcement, it's going to be FPS or the Veteran Police Services unless you guys have a written agreement with those departments that you can operate in here.
Okay, yeah, I'll find that information. I'm sure the reason that we got called is because we do, but I will just make sure to make sure we have everything covered, okay?
Yeah. And your name again? I'm sorry.
Officer Havliceck.
Havliceck.
Yes, sir. All right, give me 1 second. I'm not sure if they're open at this time. I'll get with you for that as well, okay? Yes, I returned it to him. I just have to call my sergeant and let him know what's going on real quick. Thank you. Okay, so one of the counselors took his cell phone on his stand, which he uses to communicate because he is blind, from him, and her reasoning is that he's trying to get a recording. Essentially, he's a YouTube person, just like the other guy that Newsom dealt with. So, also, is asking if we've got a contract with the VA to have jurisdiction over this building. I assume yes, because it's our jurisdiction. However, he's wanting to know, so I'm going to make sure I have that answer in the event that we do end up on YouTube. We don't look like this.
You good?
Don't go, yeah. So, yeah, he's asking legal questions right now, trying to. Apparently they already have a lawsuit, and VA already has a lawsuit with this gentleman, and this is an ongoing issue. So, I don't know yet. I'm not getting all their information, but being as the situation, I wanted to clear it with you and see what you wanted me to do because of the possible news coverage we might get because of it. Okay, so okay, and as far as him, he's claiming that he wants to press charges for her taking his stuff. Okay, so he has his cell phone on a little stand that he uses for communication because he is blind, and she took it from him. It was sitting on the desk. She picked it up and removed it from his possession and put it on the chair in front of him. And when I walked in, I returned it. Yes. That's what she told me. Yeah. So that's where the jurisdiction thing comes in because he wants to know, I'm assuming for this reason, if we have jurisdiction, have that little contract thing with them, with the government or whatever, to have jurisdiction over this office or not. Yeah. Yeah. I guess because it's a government office, that's why he's asking. Yeah.
So even if we had an incident at the post office.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll just tell him that since it's in the city of Lynn Haven. All right. So essentially, what this is, do you remember the guy that was filming the school?
Yes.
Yes. Similar.
Yeah. Person, an auditor type person who's just on there reporting.
Well, see, even then, this is a government facility. He has every right to report.
Yeah. So what the problem is, he called earlier claiming that he was, quote unquote, so she told me, claiming that he's blind and he's going to need an interpreter, and so on and so forth. He came in for his stuff. He's been recording. She removed his little stand. No, that's his wife.
Oh, okay.
His stand thing from his table right next to him. Now he's wanting to press charges from her stealing his stuff.
Okay.
And then I'm not sure. I'm assuming they're wanting him trespass, but I didn't verify yet. I was getting their information, and you guys started showing up. So if you're gonna come outside, give you a heads up, call sergeant. So if you guys want to talk to him, he's very knowledgeable about things. Sergeant's going to get back with us in reference to the contract thing that we have to have, and then I'm going to find out what they want us to do.
Okay, well, even then, the fact of the matter is she moved something and took it away from him
it's his property regardless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good
But
stuff.
when it comes to the jurisdiction thing, which is he's wanting to know if it's quote unquote on our jurisdiction, we can't do anything. But
I feel like, this is just an office. It's not federal property. It's just an office building.
that's what I was thinking. But because he's reporting currently, I'd CYA. I'd rather cover my butt. He's asking questions. So.
Well, Hamilton's working on
the contract issue. I'm going to go talk to her about the trespass, if she wants it done, regardless of whether he wants to press charges or not. She wants the trespasses being trespassed.
We also need to establish what position she holds here.
She's the director.
Okay, well then, yeah, she should have authority to charge.
Yeah, she does. Mm-hmm. I made sure. So, okay. Yeah, so this is his wife. We'll come get her information.
Oh, I wasn't attacked.
Oh, you were in the car the whole time? Okay.
Did you catch any of it?
Okay.
Did you report any what happened?
I saw her come out with it in her hand.
With his phone?
Yeah, holding it in her hand, and she said she wasn't going to give it back to him. And I informed her that it was assistive technology. It's not just like my phone, which is also legal for me to have my phone out.
Well, I mean, this is
which you haven't had a problem with.
Well,
this is great.
This is a government office, y'all.
But where more so is it legal, right? Than a government facility. Like if it was like a private institution, right?
Okay. They're talking to your wife right now. They'll get back with you, okay? I'm going to go speak with those women.
Okay, so
You guys have a agreement with the...
It's the officer.
Sorry, he was coming down this hallway trying to get in here and like yelling at her, so we just locked ourselves in here. Do you want to step in here?
Okay.
I don't want him to have.
Gotta get the VA police in too.
Okay. September, Aislynn. Okay. And then,
Yes, 3109.
and are you Carol?
Yeah.
Okay. So, desk,
Yeah.
call.
Counselor, yeah, he called me.
and
She's
director.
first.
Okay. So,
She's acting director.
September. Sims, SIMS.
Yeah, he was just saying, like, you stole my stuff.
okay.
Really
So essentially
agitated.
escalating it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And followed her down
Yes.
this hallway. We weren't going out there, you know.
Okay.
Well, they're
Okay.
supposedly
And then he
don't
knocked on
have
the glass.
jurisdiction, so we're calling you, the VA police also.
We're in the city of Lynn Haven. As far as my sergeant is concerned, he stated if you want him trespassed from the property, we will trespass him from the property. If we need to go further, then we will.
Yeah.
He's gonna double
Okay,
check.
I'm gonna put you on speaker. Hold on. This is the VA police. This is the Lynn Haven police officer. Go ahead and speak.
Yes, hi, this is Corporal Gofford, VA Police.
Yes, sir. This is Officer Havliceck with Lynn Haven Police.
Hi there.
Hi.
So what's going on today?
Essentially, there's a gentleman here causing a ruckus due to some assistive equipment being removed from a table next to him. And
Well, he was doing
he was.
He came in here to start trouble.
Okay. So he's been causing an issue, and at this point, he's questioning if we have jurisdiction or not, so we need to make contact with somebody in reference to the VA to verify jurisdiction.
You do, he said.
Yeah, Lynn, our vet center is under concurrent jurisdiction, so local law enforcement and federal jurisdiction applies.
I thought so.
Okay. 50.
Yeah, it's the same thing at our Panama City Beach locations.
12.
They're also concurrent. We don't respond out to the vet center.
53 to Sarge.
Yeah,
Okay.
so,
Okay.
you said there was a disturbance, and
26.
were there any injuries that occurred? Is the veteran still present on scene?
Yes, he is
We
still
don't
present.
even know if he's a veteran.
Okay. Has anyone identified him yet?
Yes, we've all identified him. He's a white male about...
Like his name and all that.
Michael Nelson, it came up on the caller ID when he called, and he told me his name was Mike when I spoke with him, and I was in the process of making a disruptive behavior report when he showed up.
Okay, is Mike Nelson?
Mike Nelson, yes, and he is currently has an law enforcement case with Heather Kennedy, the patient advocate at the VA, for similar behavior.
Where's Heather Kennedy at?
She's a patient advocate at the VA Panama City Beach Clinic off Magnolia.
Do you have Mr. Nelson's last four?
No, he's not a client here. He just walked in being disruptive.
Do you want him to trespass from the property?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Alright, so Mr. Nelson is upset because an appointment was canceled?
No, he's not a client. He doesn't even go here.
When he called to come in, what did he want?
He just asked about what services we offered. I told him. Then he asked if we have VA police on site, and I told him we have security. I have a report. I could print it off for you.
Yes.
I made a narrative. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want me to go to my office and grab it, or just wait here a minute?
Wait.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
just wait until.
Okay, right.
So, sir, do you want to stay on for the rest, or you're good?
Yeah, I can stay on.
Okay.
Okay. Since you're gonna be on the phone during this, you said you're corporal?
Yes.
What's your name again?
First name is Greg, last name is Gottfried, Gottfried.
And your poor list of everyone involved is going to be so long. It's never easy.
Is this 850 number a good number to contact you, Corporal?
Yeah, the number is 850-636-7047.
Okay.
Yes.
And you're with the VA?
All these phone numbers on your phone.
Okay. Okay. All right, so he called earlier asking what services you offer and if there's police on
Yes,
site.
there's VA police. That was kind of a red flag.
And
Then he asked if we have somebody who's a disability coordinator, and I said I was new, so I don't know, but I'd be happy to find out for him.
Mhm.
He also asked about referrals for community care to Emerald Coast Behavioral, which I told him that we could offer support during that, but that we don't really do referrals for that. Just basic service information.
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember now because I'm freaked out.
Okay. If you forget something and it's in the narrative, that's
Yeah,
fine.
it's all in the narrative because I was not freaked out when I typed that. I had calmed down.
Mhm.
And I told him I would be happy to get all this information if I could get his name, phone number, and then I'd give him a call back. He gave me Mike and his phone number, and it was the same phone number that came up on caller ID, so I have that written down as well. Then I asked my colleagues, they said they weren't aware of a disability coordinator, so I contacted Patient Advocate because they often know about these kinds of services. She informed me that this is the behavior that he has presented at that clinic and that it's become disruptive.
And Heather Kennedy is the one you spoke with, and
Yeah.
she is, okay, so he didn't make an appointment, he just walked in.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was,
So he walked in, and I had already been alerted of
Right,
this
'cause
is
I
what
told
I was
him
going
I
to do.
First.
And so when he came up to the window asking for help, I said, started to talk to him, and I said, can I help you? Because I knew who he was.
I know who
And
it
then
was
he
when
got
I
upset.
first walked in.
Why
Who
did
are
he-
you? And da-da-da-da-da. And then he started trying to record me. And so I moved the phone over to the chair.
might be my sergeant's here.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Hey,
Hi.
We
How y'all
are
doing?
Currently on the
All
phone.
right.
what y'all want done?
They're wanting them trespassed.
You want to
There's-
trespass from the
We're
property?
currently
Yes,
on the
sir.
phone with Corporal Gottfried with VA and stated they have federal jurisdiction as well as we have jurisdiction because
Oh,
of
I got jurisdiction enough to handle it myself.
So,
It's a public business, and it's in my city.
so
Yay.
I'll handle it.
right now I'm just getting all the things that occurred for my narrative.
Okay.
I got all of their information. I'm assuming they got his
What
information.
time you normally close?
4:30.
What time did he show up?
7 or 8.
A.m.
Mhm.
He's been here the whole
No,
time.
no. He came 10 minutes ago. Like,
Oh,
no.
I
Like
called
4:10.
911 at 4 o'clock, so
Well,
it
see
was
if you
before 4
takes
Okay.
you 4 minutes to get your information, it'll be 4:30, and then he's got to go anyhow.
I've got enough
Then we'll just
information.
issue the trespass warning to him as he leaves.
Yeah. Okay, so he
We
got
can do
upset.
the complaint for the theft of the phone and send it to the state attorneys.
Yeah, I didn't steal his phone. I moved it from that table to the other because I thought it was recording, pushed it down.
Okay.
And then when you came,
He turned it, yeah.
he got it back.
Okay, so he was upset asking who you were and just started acting out.
Yeah. Because I guess he was upset that we were on to him.
Okay, did he say anything specifically?
He's like, who are you? and I didn't tell him who I was because I started seeing he was recording, and I said, can I help you? Do you have an appointment?
Are you guys like appointment only, or?
We have walk-ins, but it's mostly appointments.
We do take intakes for veterans wanting to actually seek help, and we sit down, do their paperwork, and that's about it, and then they go and they get a call later.
So essentially they come in to do paperwork and you call them back for an appointment?
Correct.
Okay. So while we were outside, he followed you back here, yelling at you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We told him to stay in the lobby because he would not leave. He said, it's a federal building. I'm a veteran.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, that's fine and well, but this is our building of work, and you have to leave.
It's supposed to be filmed because it's a VA.
Then it just became a circus.
Gotcha.
I wonder if I know he's not blind.
We have to take it by face at that point.
I know. Like, how did you know I moved your phone? Just go like this.
He jumps.
He didn't have any trouble getting in the building, and we have no ramp or anything.
I think he's reading my signs. I said, if you don't see me tapping on him, he's tapping.
I swear. Yeah, you're right. He did tap me. So yeah, he followed her down the hallway, was aggressive, and then he came around here and tapped on the window. Which is pretty aggressive behavior.
When you say aggressive, what do you mean?
He was like, this
In
is
your
not
personal
appropriate,
space.
you know, okay, and
You
he's...
stole my stuff.
You
I
stole
want
my- yeah.
services.
Mhm. He's like, you're gonna go to jail. So in September she's gonna go to jail and whatnot. You're gonna leave here in cuffs, you know.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
I
was taking that as aggressive.
I'm a little, like, nervous because I'm used to fighting people when they come in my face and I'm not allowed.
Exactly.
Understandable. So,
Well, good, you did get it on.
okay, cool. I'm gonna give you guys a card. Everything that, any videos, any narratives, anything like that, shoot me an email.
Yes.
With all of that in it. That way I can upload it and add it to our case file in reference to this.
Okay.
Thank you for getting here so soon. I was like a
50
little
Freeland Haven.
panicky on the phone. Because he's got a bag.
Can you give me my 1099, please?
So I didn't
card.
know what he had.
003597.
Okay, officer at the VA, what's your name?
Yes,
Go ahead.
ma'am.
Greg,
10-4, thank you.
do you want me to let you go now, or are you good?
I'm gonna need some information from you.
Okay,
You're probably gonna want my case number as well.
so,
Name September A. Sims. Is
yes,
that correct?
yes.
Okay.
Did you request it,
And what's a good contact number for you?
Because he's saying that you didn't, but I'm sure if
What?
you did, it'll be on recording.
Yeah.
Several times. Sorry, go ahead, Greg. Sorry.
Every video, every narrative from speaking with him, everything they have, they're going to email to me so I can upload it as evidence.
He's gonna wanna have this emailed to you as well.
That's fine. You can email it. I'll upload it as evidence as well.
22610.
Get his information, you're gonna need all the information for the phone. Phone number, ID, a whole bit.
How's he gonna get it?
Huh? I guess he's gonna have to let you hold the phone so you can inspect it. And then you might photograph it and make sure it's not damaged, so you can explain what they damaged it.
Yes.
So then he's probably a veteran.
Take a picture of the screen while it's lit up and
Apparently he's like case with VA. The same behavior. So I'm gonna document it thoroughly. So it's gonna be a long one, so I'm sorry.
I would have him step outside.
Yeah.
She's out there, she probably has the body or the dash cam on.
All right, so I just need to get some information from you. If you'd like to come step outside and get all of the basic information as well as your cell phone information for the report.
Refusing me service, is that what's going on?
Well, the office is closing and you're being trespassed from the building.
Being trespassed?
Yes, sir.
Well, so much for an investigation.
You mean you're giving me a warning of trespass?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Which
Well,
means if you
give me a warning, then I'll leave.
Yes, sir. You've been trespassed. If you come back, you...
And what's the basis of this? Because, like I told the other officers, do you understand implied consent with regards to trespass? That this is public property, and it's different than private property, or quasi-public property. Do you understand the difference?
An agent of the owner is requesting that you be trespassed from the property, therefore I am trespassing you from the property.
There is settled case law in Florida. I'm just making sure that you know that you're on notice, right? So you don't lose your qualified immunity, okay? Because this is public property. It's business hours. You have to, in order to lose implied consent, you have to do something that rises to a disruption of the business or a criminal act in order to lose implied consent. I haven't done that. The only criminal act was committed against me. So since I haven't done that, you guys, they can't trespass me under the federal law or under Florida law. Just so you know, if you want to issue that trespass warning, that will be a violation of my rights. So
Please step outside. Please step outside.
Okay. All right.
I got the door sealed. That's the end of the sidewalk. All right. So because of the arguing, that is disrupting their business, okay?
The arguing was after somebody stole my...
And instead of arguing with them, you could have called us, which you are fully capable of doing.
She stole my phone.
You have a wife.
She's got her phone right
She
now.
has her cell phone. She's recording us right now,
She
just
called,
like
and she
you
called.
are.
No. You don't get to turn her criminal act into me arguing.
We are going to take care of that just as well as we would take care of it if it were swapped. But as of right now, you are addressing with me that you cannot be trespassed because you didn't commit anything such.
Correct.
You arguing with her and vice versa is causing a disruption of the business, therefore you are being trespassed.
How specifically was the disruption of business?
I am not going into it with you, no sir.
But this is,
I am the law enforcement officer and I am doing my job. I need you to allow...
Let's get the facts straight.
No.
No,
you were arguing. You are currently being disruptive. You are currently being disruptive.
Do you want to get the facts straight?
Either you give me the information that I need from you or not.
Do you want to get the facts straight?
Do you want to give me your cell phone information so I can do the appropriate paperwork I need to do for her stealing your phone?
What do you need my cell phone information?
I need
your
all
phone
of
number,
it.
IME, the make and model, and then she's going to take photos of your phone.
That way we have documentation of what was taken, and we can put in our complaint affidavit.
Hey, so you want to take pictures of the phone?
I need to take pictures. I need the IMEI. I need your phone number. I need the make, model. If there's any current damages on it, everything. That way I can put it in the report as documentation for it.
I have to find the IMEI.
Okay. Are you able to multitask so I can ask you questions while you're looking for that or no? No?
No, it's auditory.
Gotcha.
Open settings. Alright, it's an iPhone 11 Pro Max.
Okay.
What else do you need?
I'm sorry?
What else do you need?
The IMEI.
IMEI?
It's essentially like a serial number for it.
Yeah, it says serial number.
But the same thing, yes sir.
Oh wait, okay, no. There's IMEI and serial number. Which one?
Serial number.
Serial is better for
Serial?
us. Yeah.
I need to slow that down. Hold on. Alright, S E R I A L space and then that's it.
Alright, and so I'm going to take pictures of, you don't have to remove it from the stand because it was on the stand.
It was in its tripod configuration.
What color is the actual phone itself? Is it silver, gray, blue?
I have no idea.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to take photos.
Can I put it on the ground?
No, you're okay. You can hold it. It's fine. That way you don't have to...
There's a lawyer calling.
Okay. So, I don't want to have to... If you want to just lay it flat?
Yeah, let me just put it on the ground so you can...
I'm just gonna... I don't know how to turn the screen on. That way we can document there's no cracks on the caser or anything. Or on the screen. I don't want to...
You should be able to just... tell off the reflection, right?
Should be, but I know my phone doesn't show
Anyway,
cracks.
get the screen to light up so you can take a picture of it. You know that
I mean, I don't use the screen, so...
Well, I know, but
Oh, so the screen doesn't
whether or
turn
not
on.
the screen itself is bad. If
What's
she
that?
damaged it anyway.
Oh, yeah, hold on. Alright, is that?
Yes. Okay. Perfect. And if you... It looks like it's white. It's either white or blue.
Pull it out.
That's where the camera is. Everybody.
Okay.
Unknown color with case.
And then black OtterBox case. Okay. Okay, so... I know you probably already... Okay. Already spoke with the other officers, but tell me exactly, just briefly, what occurred that led us to being called. So like from the time you walked in to the time we got here.
From the time I walked in?
Yeah, from the time that you walked in to the time that we got here, what occurred? That way I have your side of the story and tell me what happened.
Yeah.
Whenever you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get what's going on. Okay, so, I'm enrolled with the VA for medical treatment, and the blind rehab center, which issues like this equipment, and most of my equipment, is out of Biloxi.
Okay.
They have, they call them VIST coordinators. It's visual impairment. I want to say it's services team, VIST, VIST coordinator, and they have a monthly VIST support group. And so that was today at around 1. I called into that meeting. The guest speaker was somebody from the vet center out of Pensacola, and they were telling us about the different services the vet center has. I didn't even know the vet center existed. I didn't know that this was a program that was here. And so I asked the Pensacola guy if there was one local to me, and he said, yeah, there's one here. And so then they said, you know, they have classes for veterans and counseling and guitar lessons and art and golf and things like that, right? So after I got out of that meeting, I called here, and I don't know who I spoke to. I think I have a recording of that call if you want to hear that. And I asked them if, like, if they were open, what their hours were, what's the process of getting access to the services here. And they said it's a walk-in, so you walk in, you come in, you have proof of your status, your military status or veteran status, and then they do the intake forms. And that's when we'll, due to my disabilities, I'll need help filling out the forms. will somebody be able to help me? And I said, yes, somebody will be able to help me. And then we came up here. I got here around 4, I'm guessing. And went in the door. Somebody, sounded like a lady's voice, asked if they could help me, kind of to the front and to the left, so I walked over there, and kind of found a little counter, and right about that time, she asked what she could do. I asked that I was here for services, and then right around that interaction, another person came in behind and started yelling that I couldn't record here, and telling the lady behind the counter to close the window and to not help me.
Okay.
And so then I turned and addressed the person that was, yelling orders, and asked who she was, and she wouldn't tell me who she was. She wouldn't tell me if she worked here. She wouldn't tell me what capacity, if she did work here. So she refused to essentially establish that she had any kind of authority to dictate what was going on, right? So I took a seat because I was right next to a chair, and I didn't want her to think I was encroaching anywhere. And I was like, well, I'm here for services, and it's only for, I've got, as far as I know, 30 minutes. Somebody can help me fill out stuff. Let's resolve this. But the lady was belligerent, yelling. I unfolded my phone into the tripod thing and put it on the table to my left. And then she walked over and said something like, thanks for that, and took my equipment and then walked out. She walked out here. So I reached over and noticed she did in fact take my stuff. And I stood up and said, hey, give me my equipment. You can't steal my things. But the door had closed and she was already out here. So I could hear, I think my spouse was talking to her saying, hey, what are you doing with this equipment? Give it back. But I couldn't make out much of what they were saying. She was out here, I don't know, a couple minutes, maybe less, and then came back to the doorway and opened the door, and I said, hey, can you give me my equipment back, please? This is theft. You don't have the rights to just steal my stuff. And she refused until, I didn't get it back until you showed up. I don't know how many minutes passed when you got here. But other staff came out, I think it was staff, came out to the lobby, and they were messing with something on the western wall, some electronics or something like. But that they were on the phone with somebody, she was on the phone with somebody. They were both telling untruthful versions of what was happening to whoever they were reporting to. I'm assuming you guys, and then probably DA, whoever. The lady ultimately, finally said her name was September. That's all I got. I don't know her last name. Did you guys get her last name?
We have all her information.
Okay. Can you give me her last name?
You can do a public records request for the report, which I'm sure if you want a copy of it, you can go get one from the PD.
Right.
Usually it's still I give at the end, but if you want to get a copy of the report, you have to do a public records request through the PD.
Right. Since that's released in public records, you can't just give me her last name now.
At this time, no, because we're still actively investigating. So once I got here, that's it. Nothing else happened in between. Nobody said anything specifically. Nothing was done specifically other than what you've told me so far. I just want to make sure I have everything right for our narrative.
She said something about YouTube. Like, you're the YouTube guy. We know about you. And so that, to me, that's prior restraint. Like they were already planning on denying me access because of whatever preconception they have about YouTube. Right?
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I took brief notes, so it's not going to gather all of the description that you provided me, like word for word, but from what I wrote down, I will be able to do everything accurately, okay? So you had your group meeting earlier, and they recommended the VA services to help with a local for all of your equipment, correct? Like they were telling you about the VA service being able to help you with like guitars and other services.
Yeah, they so one of the things that was attractive to me is that they said it was separate than the VHA, so the Veterans Health Administration, right? That they're a separate thing. They're under the umbrella of the VA, but separate from the VHA, right? And the VHA has their own record keeping with medical things, and that they said that this is separate. This is something separate from that. So there's different, essentially, benefits that are available to veterans that are not necessarily
health related.
Tangentially health related, but not directly health, right? Like they do like this golf group and guitar stuff to help with mental health and things like that, but it's under a different umbrella.
Gotcha.
So,
okay. So you heard about the benefits outside of like legitimate, like direct health, and you were called up here to speak with them, ask them about the information, and then you showed up. And as soon as you walked in, essentially you asked her what
somebody asked me if they can help me, and then I went over there, and then
she came out and she was like, "How can I help you?" And then you said...
Well, she was at the window, so I mean...
Yeah, so after that, somebody came out and was saying, "How can I help you?" And then told you couldn't be reporting in here?
No. No, somebody came in from this door here.
Yeah, so when I say out, I mean from the office, because there's an office out there.
No, not out from the office. Somebody came into the office from outside.
From outside?
From this door here.
Okay.
So some random person on the street came in behind me and started yelling at me and yelling at the lady at the desk. Which later she said her name was September.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right, so nobody came out from the office.
Gotcha.
Right?
So she was outside of the building.
Some random person off the street came in and started yelling at me and the worker here. Right? She didn't identify herself as anything. Right?
Okay.
And that's why it was crazy. Like, what are you doing, crazy lady? And then she came and stole my equipment.
Gotcha. Okay. So you took a seat, you set your phone and your stand down on the table. She then picked it up and walked outside with it. Came back in after a couple minutes. You heard your wife and her speaking. Unsure what exactly they were speaking about.
Well, I don't know the specifics, but I'm sure that my wife, because I heard her say that, hey, that's his equipment, give it back to him.
Yeah.
So I did hear that, but other than that, I don't know what specifically was said back and forth, other than obviously she didn't return it. So.
Gotcha. Okay, so then she came back in, you asked for your stuff yet again, she didn't return it, and you didn't get it back until I showed up.
Right, until you gave it to me?
Yeah, until I showed up. Yep, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and somewhere in there you did overhear her, or she did tell you that you're the YouTube guy, she already knows who you are, and that made you feel like she predetermined she was not going to assist you further at all.
Yeah,
okay.
Because that's the only thing, literally I just started talking to a lady, some lady came in and yelled and said, shut the window, don't open them.
Okay.
So I didn't, again, so under that timeline, right, I did nothing to disrupt business. They denied service. They disrupted their own business because of whatever discrimination, right, whether it be because of First Amendment activities and posting to a news channel, or whether it be because of my inability to see, right, both of those are discriminatory, right, and so that's the disruption that was on the, what's the name, September and the other ladies. Like, I didn't do anything to disrupt. I was a victim, and I said, hey, stop giving my things back. So that can't be me disrupting the business.
I understand where you're coming.
I
understand where you're coming from, but the way our stuff works is if we are asked to have somebody trespass from their property, we are doing it. That's just how it works.
Regardless of the law and what the case law says on it?
It's what we have to do.
But you don't, because you swore an oath to the Constitution, right?
Okay.
Like this.
I don't want to argue with you about this. I understand what you're saying, but I am telling you what I have the capability of doing and what I have been given, okay? So they're telling me that they want to trespass from the property. They are within the jurisdiction of Lynn Haven Police Department, therefore we are going to have you trespass from the property, okay? I just need all of your information for the report A and then for the trespass as well, okay? So spell your first name for me.
Why do you need my information?
So I can document your name and all of that for the report that I'm writing, and then for the trespass warning. So either way, I need it for the report.
Not for the warning, not for the trespass warning.
Yeah.
I'll give you an email address that you can send.
I need your legal identification is what I need. For the incident report that I'm writing, especially if you're wanting to press charges.
Phone, right?
Yes.
Okay.
She's going to need your information for that.
Okay. So, but you're not citing her right now.
Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to write up our complaint affidavit. This is a normal process.
Okay.
And we're going to send it to the state attorney's office for them to make the decision, which is what we normally do. Okay?
Well,
so
right,
we
I
don't
will
press charges. It's the state attorney's office that does
so
it.
if the state attorney's office, after I send you guys my evidence and you pass it on to them, if they want to press charges, then I will give my information to the state attorney's office.
We can't do that without your information.
Why?
Because so in this act, who's the victim?
Me.
What's your name?
Why do you need my name?
Because
If
you
you
are
don't
the
want to
victim.
provide your information, then we can't take the report and we can't do the complaint affidavit.
If they knocked me unconscious,
you have
then
form
we
of
wouldn't be able to
identification?
look for your ID.
I don't carry
We
ID.
wouldn't be able to do a complaint until we had your information.
That's nonsense.
No, it's not nonsense. It's
You
the
guys-
blanks in the form that need
No.
to be filled out
But-
in order for us to send it down. I can't send a theft of a phone report down and a complaint affidavit without a victim's name to it. They're going to kick it back and nothing's going to happen. If that's what you want done, by all means, I'll send it down there and nothing will get done.
Let's do that. I will give you the video evidence if you give me the link, or I'll give you my email address and phone number, and then when you email me, say, hey, email me the evidence, I'll email you the video evidence, and you can pass that on. If they then want to contact me and say, hey, this looks like we can charge this, what's your information, I will give it then. But I'm not going to just surrender the Fourth Amendment.
Just go ahead with that.
Okay. So what's your email? Actually, I have my business card with my email on it.
I can't read it.
Well, I mean, I just didn't know if your wife would be able to assist you or anything.
No, she's not a
Okay.
visual interpreter.
So what's your email?
insightisfree@gmail.com.
So INSIGHTISFREE at what?
So yeah, INSIGHTISFREE@gmail.com.
Gmail?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll shoot you an email stating who I am, and that way you can send me everything that you need to send me. It'll all go into the cloud as evidence with the information that I have been provided. Your wife did witness and speak with her in reference to her cell phone, so I need to get her information as well. Is she
Probably
going
say
to
the
be?
same thing.
Okay. Do you want to provide me with your basic information for the report or no? Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah, if the state attorney wants to pursue charges, then we'll provide the information so that they can do it.
I can't make any promises, but I'll send them what I've got, and they'll reach out to you from there.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. Do you need any assistance getting back to your vehicle, or are you okay?
No.
Okay.
They don't want to give you their phone. Send it down.
Let us know what you think of how Havliceck and Hamilton handled this situation. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss the footage from the other officers.
Thanks for watching. De Oppresso Liber.